The entrance to our home says a lot about the homeowners. Are we elegant, gracious hosts or misanthropic, reclusive slobs? Let's play against type today as we create an elegant marble foyer. Or is that foyer?
Oh, now I know how Clyde Tolson felt. I'm Ed Feldman.
And I'm Joe Larario.
And we're in Longport, New Jersey at a beautiful old 100-year-old house called...
I should have side-saddled that. This is an Anne Hathaway, patterned after Anne Hathaway, not Jane Hathaway from the Beverly Hills.
Anne Hathaway's, you know, Shakespeare's squeeze, but it's got a lot of mission elements and a lot of Edwardian kind of arts and crafts elements, too.
And this house is going to have its 100-year birthday this year. I'm not sure when the date is, but...
Really? That and Burt Mustin.
No, he's dead already.
Is he dead?
Anyway,
well, he would have been 100.
You know what's missing here? Look at this floor. It's an old linoleum floor was installed about 20 years ago. But
Too much earth tones.
What's missing
alert.
is some real nice marble. Look at his ear.
Oh, the perfect complement for a beautiful old house. But it's not just going to be one color marble. Two-tone,
black
in a fabulous
and white
pattern. But there's a few things we have to get to before we lay the floor.
Well, as we said, first thing we have to do is pull up the linoleum. Then we got to actually take up the subfloor and put a new subfloor down. Why? Because the old subfloor that's on there, if you put this marble on it and this marble on it, it's going to be too high. The door won't even open.
Right, you'll have to get a stepladder to get into the house. But in order to help us lay this fabulous marble floor, we will meet our expert of the day.
We have a special guest, Mr. John D. Donato, who's going to help us with this and show us how to select the pattern and all that kind of stuff.
The marble floor we're installing today will run about $1,500 to $2,000 just for the materials. Compare that with $300 to $600 for a linoleum floor or $500 to $700 for a ceramic tile floor. But it will last well past your lifetime, and besides, nobody ever said opulence was cheap. Step 1, tear up the old linoleum floor. When it comes to demolition, there's not a lot of technique, just sweating and grunting. This is a shingle ripper. It's used to tear up old roofs, and it makes mincemeat out of the existing subfloor. And a nail pole will help remove any exposed nails, including your toenail.
Now it's time to put down the Doro Rock,
which will be our new subfloor upon which the tile will be mounted.
And we already tested it with the piece of Doro Rock and then the tile on top of it, so we know that the door is going to close nicely right over top of it.
We hate to plane all day when we should just be laying marble.
So we're going to lay this down.
Yeah, this is good. We're going to cut this just like wallboard.
You have to measure it, and if you just measure from here to there, you can see we get 50 and a half.
50 and a half.
Right, so that's our piece. We're going to butt it right up into here.
Yeah, and as you can see, our various pieces of subfloor Doro Rock are staggered. The joints, that is. We don't want the joints to line up like that 4-state things with Wyoming and Arizona, because you don't want all those seams coming together, because then when you walk on it, it tends to creak or move, so you stagger your joints so it's smoother.
Now we connect the dots, la la la.
We can also use a string line for this. I like the size of your pencil, mister.
This is a nice pencil. See, it's got about 3 more months activity. Then we take a regular utility knife and we just score.
Dig down into it. This Doro Rock, it's made out of cement. It's got cement inside with a mesh on both sides. Very, very durable. Like to put the adhesive in an S pattern.
We're going to take this. You get that corner.
I got it.
And we'll drop this down.
Always push it back, lift your end up. Ah, yes, into my corner. And put 4 of these 1.25" specially made for Doro Rock use screws, 1 in each corner, 4 in all.
And now we're going to put down some thin set.
Yeah, look at it. Ooh, it's just like for tile. But first you put that down, then we're going to put some of this mesh, then we're going to add more thin set, cherry on top, and it's time to eat. Why are we doing this? We're filling the seams. We're filling the joints. We want a nice, even, flat, floating platform, as we all do, for the marble itself.
Let's put that tape on there.
Put the tape down. Cut the tape. Now put another layer on top.
Now we go right across the top here.
Press it down into the lattice. Oh, it's expert time on the show now. We got one.
Here's our expert, John D. Donato.
He's from Lower State Tile and Marble. It's his marble.
One question, John. Why marble?
Because I don't do carpets.
Now, how long has this marble been around? It's pretty durable, right?
It's been in the ground over 1 million years so far.
So it'll probably last at least 5 or 6?
Million more, yes.
You'd like that if if it was just 5 or 6 years, you had to put a new one in? You'd love that.
I would love that.
Damn, but you lay it and that's it,
And
right?
that's it.
So what kind of square footage are we talking about today?
In this foyer here, I've measured approximately 160 square feet. The homeowner decided to use a statuary white marble field.
So that's white, and then the black is the granite.
The absolute black is the granite that we're going to border it in.
Now, how did you come about to your border design?
We wanted to do something different to break up the all-white look of it, so we decided to do a mosaic in between the two doorways.
So it's a zigzag of white and then a rectangular border that mimics the openings of the doors on both sides.
Exactly. It's gonna
So
look
we
like
got square cut, we got triangle cuts, and then we got the rectilinear of the black. Looks nice.
Exactly.
Now, how do you work with a homeowner to get a design that both of you like?
Well, we talk about it in the beginning when they decide that they want the marble or whatever in their foyer. We talk about it, and I try to give them certain designs, and a lot of time homeowners come up with their own.
Well, see, we had our own designs that we made
Yeah,
up.
you gave us
I
a
would
bunch
love
of
to see
graph
it.
paper, and we came up with some of
Here,
these
take a look.
designs. But we rejected all of them, and if you work with an expert like John, you can come up with a design like this.
It's pretty. Looks like my uncle saw that from prison, right, when he was looking out the wire.
Through the mesh.
Through the chicken wire.
He raised birds, didn't he?
Yeah, not
Look,
John.
Yeah, in your showroom, how many different colors of marble and granite you got?
Varieties.
In our showroom, we have over 100 different varieties and colors of marble and granite.
Oh.
So for you people out there who think it just comes in black and white, you got green, you got red, you got tan, all kinds of
Or you can
colors.
paint it, right?
No, it's not paintable.
Okay,
So
let's go outside.
When we come back, we're going to be using the wet saw. We're going to be cutting all our pieces, and it's going to be wet.
It's going to look like this, only bigger and pretty.
What, do you got to go to the bathroom?
No, it's television in the last part of the 20th century. Movement everywhere, everywhere.
You can tell on this, see? It's moving.
We met John DiDonato. He's great. We're doing a marble floor in a beautiful beach house.
We put down the Dora rock already. John helped us with that.
We helped him.
This is his saw.
Yeah, because we don't have these things. We have cars instead.
And this is a wet saw. It's got a 10-gallon pan here. Right?
Like Hoss.
And you can rent these if you want, not this size, but you can rent them. They cost $40, $50 a day.
But they're just
But you
as
got to
wet.
leave a cash deposit of $200 probably.
At least. And when you come back, the rental store, they've moved away. So why the wetness? It's not sweating. It's cooling the very hot diamond blade.
And also, it keeps the dust from going all over the place. And you look up, you know, if you get a lot of this marble dust in your nose, it takes on the nose hairs take on the look of the wintry Scotch pine.
And of course, if you sneeze later, a bunch of Aggies come out.
So let's put on the safety glasses, which are important. Flip it on.
Flip the switch.
And here, see that water there?
It's
Just
starting to sweat already. Now this ain't marble.
How long have we been here?
We're taking this for granted. This is absolute black granite, which you've all had a drink of, I'm sure.
And it's a 12 by 12, and we're going to cut it in half, lengthwise. So it's a 6 by 6. See
That's
there?
for the border
6
around,
by 12.
around the center marble.
And it's Indian. Did you tell him it's Indian granite?
No, I did not.
That's why we're going to have an Indian border.
Wouldn't that be cashmere then?
That's right, and it feels nice and smooth too. Let's flick this on. Perfect.
Oh, look. Oh.
2001. Something wonderful is going to happen.
Now, on our corners of our granite border, we had to make a miter cut, but we don't have a miter box.
Of course not, but this serves as one in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
See, it's got all your angles here.
We cut a regular square in half, got us a triangle with a 45.
Put this piece in here.
Put the full piece
This is our
in.
perimeter granite. And then cut it, and there you go.
Or got perfect trapezoids. Around the granite border, we're going to lay our marble in a regular square pattern across.
But you want the veins running in a certain direction.
We are going to have the veins running side to side, so it looks all of a piece. Now, before you start laying anything, you got to draw and snap chalk lines to define those different areas. We've also set up our work area into smaller workable areas. There's a red line there, there's a blue line
So we're
here.
going to put whole slabs in here of the full pieces in here.
Right.
And over here, these will be cut against the wall running through the threshold.
Divide and conquer your job. That's what we're talking about. And by the way, these aren't in yet.
They're not in there, just a guide there. So we're going to work off of those.
Right, so we're selecting our marble so that the veins are running sideways.
Beautiful.
And this one's going to run, and this one's going to run like
Beautiful.
this. All right, let's put down some mud or more thin set. got my blue line here.
Okay.
I got my veins running sideways. I'll line it up. Drop it down.
Do we get the mallet?
Of course, we can adjust right into the corner there.
Well, work right off that.
All right. We got a little trowel with a little rubber handle.
Come in.
Come in. Now
Another one.
Want it nice and tight.
Just drop it.
Wait a minute. Make sure it's on the line. And you can work that in, and you can obviously feel when it's flush.
Continue laying the tiles in manageable square areas. The tiles against the wall and the stairs will have to be cut to fit. Use a wet sponge, cat, or weasel to wipe away any mortar that oozes up between the tiles. When you get to an outside corner, notch the tile so it will fit.
So I'm going to cut one over here, but I have to measure it. I'll cut one outside, measure it here. Tight against here, against the wall. There's the first tick right there. And then we'll move this over to this side here. Put it flush against that side. Drop it down. Make a little mark there. See that? Right? Then we're going to connect it with this. This is a cut off of another piece. We'll lay it right here, and we'll make a line here. Connect the dots, and then just make your mark. And there we go. Bob's your uncle. Let's get out of here.
Just look at this fabulous marble. Can be yours too if you work with us. Hey, I know I've marbled myself into the bathroom, but that's okay. I got a mini bar, I got a toilet. I can stay here for days. And magazines. Oh, I've got magazines. All right, we're doing sills here. Now, sills are at every door, but we're going to put wood sills at the dining room, living room, and front door. But in the bathroom, you put a marble sill. Why? You know why. Wetness and things like that we won't even discuss. So, the first thing you do is fill in this void. Oh, the void must be filled in. Now, because mud clings to mud best, we're going to put a bead or a generous amount of mud on the sill itself. And if we look at the top here, you can see that it's notched out to go around the trim on the door. And these sills also come in standard sizes for your standard sills. We lay this on top, put that notch there, put that notch there, and drop it down. It's sitting on top of that now filled void, and now it's time for cleanup. Look, amber fields of something.
Now that we have a big L from that.
Well, we've started our granite border, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Let's continue it, shall we?
Pieces in.
Yes.
And this center line here will be the center of our diamond, because this is going to be a diamond pattern.
Yeah, this is the center of the floor, side to side.
So we'll match this line up with this blue line
With
here.
the blue chalk line. Remember, we drew a lot of chalk lines, dividing up our job into simple, easily managed sections. You know what really manages it simple?
What?
You got about 10 guys helping you.
Yeah. Put this in just like this here.
No,
Like this.
no,
I like it like
no.
that.
Yes,
Like that.
it's triangular. And look, we're having that grain run side to side as well. Oh my goodness.
Doesn't that look pretty?
Notching marble to fit perfectly against the intricate door trim requires an expert, careful touch. So practice or get an expert.
Now, normally the homeowner would, or the do-it-yourselfer wouldn't try this on a wet saw like this, because what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut the straight lines and come up on the curved ones, so we can.
So you're going to notch this out.
Yes,
Notch
exactly.
this out, but then you're going to mimic the curve of the door jamb molding
Right.
with these lines that you drew freehand.
That we drew freehand, yeah, because it's real hard to get a bearing on it unless
Right.
you keep. It's mostly trial and error. You have
Needless to
cut
say,
it.
once you cut this out, once you notch this in here like this here, you'll be able to pick away.
Exactly.
With
Right,
these
so two
nippers.
steps. First, let's make our straight cuts to get the general shape
Turn it on.
of the
Sure, go
notch.
ahead. Now we get the nippers, and since we took the stock pretty far down, this is loose and brittle here. So we could just nip that off like that.
And they're little pieces, so they're called nips, right?
Right, exactly. They're little nippers.
There you go. That's beautiful.
I'll bet next thing you see is this going in around the wood.
In an ECU called an extreme close.
Trust me.
All right, well, those are all the basic kind of cuts, and now we're going to help John finish the floor. We're going to build right out to the threshold, put our threshold, and then it'll be time to grout.
It's almost done, look. Ooh. It's grout.
Marble is all laid, and it has dried for 24 hours, so we can't mess it up. But we do have to fill in the cracks. And what do you fill in cracks between any kind of tile?
We're going to use a grout, and it's an unsanded grout, which means if it was sanded, see, it would scratch the marble.
That means not sanded, but had sand in it.
Sand in it.
Now, when you touch the grout in between your bathroom tiles, sometimes you feel that's rough. That's sanded grout.
Of course.
And this is nice and smooth, and let's start.
So we're gonna. You can mix this up. It's a
10-pound bag.
10-pound bag.
And you mix it till it's like a cake batter, like an angel food or a bunt, maybe kind of more like a bunt.
But you don't want to put a lot on.
Right.
You want to get it in there. You got to push it down and squeegee it off.
Yeah, and you're pushing it across the lines in between your tiles. And of course, you can get a lot on any part because we're going to clean it up. You'll notice that these tiles. These marble tiles are white. We're using the standard white or off-white or ivory or eggshell grout.
And in an edge situation here, you're just going to wipe it away with a finger.
And then just lick it.
And then what you would do, squeegee that away.
Now you'll notice that for our black granite border, a white grout in there, it's going to look white. So luckily, grout comes in all different colors. So we'll be taping off the black granite border and using black grout in between those granite blocks.
Now look, once you get this off, you want to get most of the excess off. And then we take a
sponge.
A spoon.
And just some water.
This here. You want to
do our cleanup.
You want to wring it out.
Yeah, you want to wring it out. You don't want it to be wet because if it's too wet, it'll start to actually wash the grout out. Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
I've been cleaning toilets and bathrooms and sinks all morning.
And just look at those dirty rings.
Actually, these are the thresholds that are going to be going in on top of the marble. And if you remember, inside there, the woodwork is beautiful. It's a nice dark color.
Right. Originally, it was a mission-style woodwork. It might have just been fumed or just was shellac and allowed to age.
Right. Mission furniture was given that beautiful color by fuming or washing it with ammonia. Well, here we're going to wash it with lye.
Right.
See? Lye. 3 big letters.
L-Y-E.
Now, it's sodium.
It also unclogs a drain for you very nicely.
It's sodium hydroxide, and when you mix it with water, it will change the color of the wood. And I'll show you how dramatic it is right now. Look at this.
And what this lye does is, in essence, age the wood in a way.
You couldn't get as dark a color just by putting on 1 coat or 2 coats of pigmented stain. So if we wash this down with the lye, you get a dramatic transformation pretty much like that. Now, once we get the lye on there, you can see how the color is.
And it will age for a while until we next neutralize.
Now, this is a water.
We're doing a water rinse.
Just plain water, and you're going to rinse it with the water. It's like this here.
Now remember, when doing lye, you got to be careful, wearing the goggles, wearing the old clothes. We recommend doing it outside.
Well, never
use lye near ammonia.
My uncle used to use lye to get rid of his fingerprints.
What, you mean the one that was in construction?
Yeah, well, you could say he was in construction. He wasn't in finishing. Now he's part of a bridge.
I see.
That much construction, yeah. Now we neutralize it with some vinegar.
Right, because lye is a base. It's sodium hydroxide.
And it leaves a residue behind. So
does my cat, by the way.
You got to neutralize it with a lye, with a vinegar, with an acid.
Which is an acid.
Right. Now we bring this over here. This one is already dry.
Right, it's dry.
Now the next step is we're going to use this. This is a stain. You see what kind of stain this is? It's a special walnut. It's a dark stain. Where's the piece of cardboard? Here it is, Chief.
Right here it is.
Here's a piece of cardboard. Now, in the bottom of this can
is the actual pigment.
There's a lot of sludge. See that right there? We're going to put that right on there.
That's the actual pigment, which is covered with a vehicle.
You see the beautiful grain of the oak. Now, the oak, I scrubbed it with a wire brush.
Wire brush.
See that?
Why a brush?
Because it works. See, when you scrub lye, because it's very deep pore structure, you scrub it like this, and you open it up so you can take this stuff here, and you can rub it on the wood
in a circular motion, and it will go down into the grain.
Now what? Now see,
you can scrub oak with a wire brush as long as you scrub with the grain, because oak is a very tough hardwood.
Now I'll take off some of the excess, and you can see how nice and dark that looks. Look, we are here on the threshold.
Of the threshold of tomorrow. Actually, the threshold, the end of the show. But these are the thresholds which we have lied to and stained.
You saw us do the lye, you saw us put the stain on, and then I put on a couple coats of orange shellac, which I cut with some denatured alcohol, 1 part shellac, 5 parts denatured alcohol.
Shellac, the finish, in keeping with the arts and crafts look at a home.
So I put the shellac on, sanded it lightly after it was dry, and then I shot on some clear lacquer, just a spray can. And I
give it a little gloss.
2 coats of that, let it dry. Now, first we're going to pre-drill.
And we countersunk. Oh, that looks nice.
A winner every time.
We'll put the other thresholds in, and when you come back, we'll probably have something more to say. Probably.
And look at this match in the color. It's perfect. This looks a little newer, but it looks the same color.
You know, for a short guy, you've got a lot of credibility.
I'm a credible creature.
It's like the Vatican in here. It's so gorgeous. Where's my throne? What are you doing?
I came from all the way upstairs, all the way down here.
I'm sore. I've been on my knees all day doing the fabulous marble floor.
Look at this. Look at before you in glorious black and white.
Oh, now, as far as what we just finished up with, show them the towel.
We took a Turkish towel and just wiped up in the Turkish towel. Is that politically correct?
You can call a towel Turkish. You can't call a person a towel.
So all we had to do was wipe it up, and that's it. That's all you have to do, too. Unless you want to dust mop it, or you can wet sponge mop it, damp sponge, and just mop it up.
With a little bit of dishwashing detergent to make the water soapy.
But not soaking wet.
No, no. Now, if it's a high-traffic area, which it will be, it's a beach house.
You got a lot of parking tickets.
Everybody's coming in with wet feet, which is why we didn't want the original floor wet or wood, and that's why they put that ugly linoleum on it. But
so we put in marble, and if it's a high traffic area, like Ed said, you might have to resurface it, you know, polish it up again, say in 20 years or so.
We'll be dead by then, thank God.
We want to thank John D. Donato.
From Lower State Tile and Marble. What did we do? We laid a new subfloor.
That Doro, whatever it's called.
We cut the marble to size.
That marble, whatever it's called.
We laid it with the thin set.
That thin set, whatever it's called.
We grouted.
We grout, whatever. Well, that I knew because my uncle had grout.
Here's the before. And here's the fabulous after. And it wasn't that hard to do. The hardest part, when we went to the quarry and cut it with a steam shovel. But
didn't you see that part? Well,
you probably went to get the sandwich.
See next show. So until next time, I'm Joe Lorario.
And I'm Chief Justice Earl Fern.
And remember, home
is nice.
Is nice. Don't lose your marbles.